What a week for design it has been. In this video we will be talking about Figma, Google, OpenAI, Python, Fuji. Let's just get started. Hello and welcome to another edition of This Week in Design, with hopefully a little bit better sound today. So let me know in the comments if you like the audio of this episode, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. The first thing we have to talk about is Sir Jonathan Ive. By now I'm pretty sure all of you have seen this video here.
Sam is a rare visionary. He shoulders incredible responsibility, but his curiosity, his humility remain utterly inspiring.
Jony is the deepest thinker of anyone I've ever met. What that leads him to be able to come up with is unmatched.
I moved to America drawn by the exhilarating optimism of San Francisco and Silicon Valley.
We are sitting at the beginning of what I believe will be the greatest technological revolution of our lifetimes.
I have a growing sense that everything I've learned over the last 30 years has led me to this place and to this moment.
Morning, John.
Hey, Sam. Good, how you doing? Good.
So what do we know? Apparently Sir Jony Ive has founded a secret startup company called I.O, which has been building some kind of secret AI interface computer of the future thingy. Nobody's seen it so far. We have no idea what we're talking about, but we know that OpenAI has acquired the company for a mere 6.5 billion US dollars in stock options, of course. So this better be big, right? This better be like the future of computing. In the video that we've just peeked at, it's not so much about the product or about any of the business modalities, but about the friendship between Sam Altman and Jony Ive. So if you're getting some Steve Jony vibes here, I'm pretty sure that this is intentional, especially with a beautiful video with a very high production value. After all, shooting a video like this in the center of San Francisco in one of the most popular restaurants / cafes, that's quite a production. So let's hope that the product itself will be as cool. And hey, after all, OpenAI has just paid 6.5 billion for a design team. So who says design is dead now? Next up, Google I.O. So last week we did have a lot of new features announced at Google's developer conference, and you guessed it, most of them were about AI. Google is getting serious with AI, updating all of their models, giving them a lot of more options, a lot of more capabilities, and of course a new pricing model. You can get Gemini Ultra Pro, whatever they call this now, for $250 per month apparently. Wow.
Project Astra.
AI that uses your smartphone camera to see the world.
While I personally don't care too much about AI image generation, one thing I wanted to check out though is Stitch. Stitch is the new UI design builder by Google, and apparently it's really good. So I had to give it a try. So I decided to give Stitch a try with one of my recent projects, Miso. So Miso is a restaurant brand for a umami, a flavor-based restaurant with a Japanese-Korean spin to it, but it's not a real fusion cuisine. It's more about bold flavors. So we're telling Stitch exactly that. So when you enter the Stitch interface, it looks like every other AI chat agent bot tool that you know. And what we're going to do is, instead of using standard mode, we're going to use expert mode, because in expert mode what we can do is we can give Stitch an input for an image, and that we are going to do will give Stitch an image to get inspired by. And then we're entering our prompt: make a website for the restaurant called Miso, featuring umami flavored food with a Japanese/Korean twist. The main colors are dark red and cream. The typography should be big and bold. So we're going to get this design generated, and while this is working, I have actually prepared something. So this is what Stitch has been coming up with just moments ago, based on the photo I gave it, based on the prompt. And I have the feeling I could have been way more specific. I could have told it what should actually be on the website, like menu items, location. And I can say just for now, we're kind of safe as designers. Looking at the results from Stitch, I'm pretty sure that at least for now, UI design is still safe, at least from Google's UI tool. I'm pretty sure that if you give the prompt much more detail, much more information, and much more direction of what you want, you can actually get better results than I did. So let's see what Stitch will bring in the future. Figma, for one last time this week, we will have to touch base on the Figma config. This is because I read a very interesting article by Darren Yeo, who's claiming that Figma is actually using nostalgia to prepare their upcoming IPO. I will of course link the article, like all the links, all the videos I'm talking about in this video, in the description, so make sure you check it out. One quote from the article that really stuck with me is: Figma's keynote felt like it solved yesterday's problem. What we needed was a plan to empower us for what's next. So Darren is claiming that Figma is actually building a suite of different tools that feel like they are trying to compete with already existing tools, while ignoring the design challenges that are up and coming, facing big data, AI, privacy, all the things that designers have to struggle with and that don't really feel represented in the design tools we are using today. The tools may evolve, but our responsibility as designers remains the same: to question, to challenge, and to design with intention. Not just for the hype, but for the future we are meant to shape. I think this is a really interesting and of course critical take on the direction that design tool development has taken in the last years, and I really recommend you read this article by Darren Yeo. If you are going to watch one more talk from Figma Config, then make it Dan Hollock's talk about color.
It means we have effectively 16.7 million colors, individual discrete colors that we can use, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that much. Now, you can arrange the colors in a color space however you want, actually. But when you specify them as red, green, and blue, you're sort of implying that they exist in a cube where red, green, and blue values are the X, Y, and Z axes. But you can arrange that same set of colors in a cylinder.
Dan is really nerding out about color systems, color gamuts, and how color is actually perceived on different output devices, and why the colors we designers are working with are looking different in design tools than they do in browsers, and what we can do about it. So if you, like me, only have a bit of an understanding of what color and color science means, go check out this talk. It's really worth watching. When we talk about color, we have to talk about Fuji and the latest addition to their X camera series, the Fuji X-Half. Don't worry, we will not be doing camera reviews on this channel, but we have to talk about the experience design. So the first thing that the camera does is, instead of taking landscape pictures, it's actually taking portrait half pictures, which you can combine to create scenes. And of course, you do have access to the camera presets, the famous Fuji film simulations. So if you are somewhat of a camera enthusiast or you want to become one, maybe checking out the Fuji X-Half is worth it. It does though come with a lot of limitations. It doesn't feature the same sensor as all the other cameras in the Fuji X series. It doesn't give you the capability to create your own presets, your own recipes, as we Fuji enthusiasts say. And of course it has a fixed lens, which looks a lot cheaper. So it might be in the consumer, more summer camp camera region, but a really good one. The last thing we want to talk about today is Python. Python is a programming language, the programming language that made AI possible actually, and the only programming language I know that now has a documentary.
We were paid our salaries every 2 weeks, and then suddenly in late October we weren't.
It was a moment where the shit could have hit the fan. If all the Python guys went their separate ways, Python wasn't big enough to survive that at the time.
Trying to build a language is non-trivial. That actually took real design, real thought, and real ecosystem collective innovation over the course of decades.
That was my car when I lived in Virginia.
I think it was me who suggested that Guido be called the benevolent dictator. And then Barry suggested benevolent dictator for life.
The Python 2 to Python 3 transition was extremely difficult for the community.
Some of that probably got away from us a little bit in hindsight.
I did feel like Python has a chance of becoming irrelevant.
When you don't have role models who you can relate to, you start believing that you cannot do it.
So much drama. I would have never expected that I'd ever be interested in watching a documentary about Python or about any programming languages, for what it's worth, but I genuinely am. So I'm really excited for that documentary. That documentary might be worth watching. That's it for this week in design. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye.